Thank you all for coming for this very important discussion. I'm going to start not with anything about restorative justice at the moment, but more of a public service announcement. All public libraries in Madison will host a voting event led by the Dane County Voter ID Coalition May 21st to register voters and educate them on Wisconsin's voter ID laws. The event, called Check Out Voting, takes place 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. at all libraries in the Madison Public Library System and is organized with support from the city clerk. Please pass that information on. Get people to this event so they know how to exercise their most essential right. So I know you guys have questions, and I'd like to get to those because I think that's the most important part, but I'll try and be brief with just a few facts. One, Wisconsin was the first state in the nation to have a voters' rights bill of law, all right? Chapter 950 applies to adults, and there's also Bill of Rights for juvenile victims as well. It is important to note that, because as we have these discussions about this criminal justice system that is broken, we cannot lose sight of the victim's voice. You cannot have restorative justice without repairing the harm, and you cannot repair the harm without the victim's input. So be clear, we cannot lose the voice of the victim in this discussion. And if we do not take care of victims, I guarantee whatever we put forward will crumble. So with that, it's something that we should know. Wisconsin used to be the national leader, or a national leader, in rehabilitation. The Department of Corrections, before it became our largest state agency, actually was an arm of the Department of Human Services. These are things that you need to remember. This is where Wisconsin came from. Not where we are today, but where we came from, and we can be national leaders again. So when we talk about what do most victims want, I believe most victims want someone to accept responsibility. I believe they want someone to repair the harm. And I believe they want some assurance that the violation is not going to occur again. Now, I'm not going to say all victims want that, but the majority of victims, I believe, want those essential things. And if those are done properly, they feel they can move on. And the community can be stronger. That's why I feel it's important to always think about the victim's voice, which far too often I do not hear when I sit on panels and we talk about the criminal justice system and where we are today. So please do not forget the victim's voice. Obviously, since I came into office in 2010, as the state's first African American district attorney in the state's history. I walked into a city that is routinely one of the top places to live in the nation. I walked into a city that is now one of the top places in the nation to retire. It is also one of the fastest growing counties in the state of Wisconsin. With that, we are also the worst of the nation for racial disparities. We are the worst place for children of color in relation to opportunity to succeed. So we have a tale of two cities.
Yes.
How then do I change that when my office is at 1985 staffing levels? Meaning we have 26.85 attorneys, whereas Milwaukee is just under 1 million in population and they have 120 attorneys. Now some of you may believe that fewer prosecutors mean fewer people go to prison. That is not true. A prosecutor's currency is time. We in the criminal justice system are supposed to give up efficiency to find truth. If you do not have time, you fall into processing people. If you process people and find efficiency, you do not find truth. So more prosecutors does not necessarily mean more people go to prison. I would like to believe that more prosecutors, more experienced prosecutors, prosecutors who are prepared, have an ability to know the case and have an ability to exercise their discretion in the toughest of decisions, and that may be to keep somebody completely out of the system. Now, I am your district attorney, and I am charged with upholding the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the state of Wisconsin, meaning I have to look out for every single person's rights, even those that we are prosecuting, even those that we believe we can prove beyond a reasonable doubt have committed a crime. I am in charge of looking out for their rights. I do not believe I have a bunch of prosecutors who are looking to put persons of color in prison. That said, the people who fill our courthouse hallways, who fill the dockets of the court, and who fill the prisons and the jails are disproportionately persons of color. At the same time, recognize the majority of their victims are also persons of color. So remember the victim's voice. Now, how do we do more with less? We can't do more with less. I am stretching our diversion program to its limits. When I came in, they had 350 open cases. Now we're pushing more than 750. We looked, and this program was a response to the racial disparity study that this community did, and the recommendation was for a restorative justice model to come from that study. That model cost $350,000, at least as it was proposed to me in 2010. And I could not do that. There is no way I could find the resources to do that. But this model I proposed at that time, and we now, with the support of Supervisor Stubbs and the county and others, have been able to bring to bear an option that, if works, will take people completely out of the criminal justice system. It will give people an opportunity to accept responsibility. It will ask for and require repairing of harm. And hopefully, with the added input from the victim and the community, we will actually have an ability to say that the violation will not reoccur. This program, when it succeeds, will be a national leader. Restorative justice is not new, but to have a response to a criminal violation outside of the criminal justice system, at least in this community and within our criminal justice system, will be a national model, I believe. So with that, I'd just like to say I hope that I can answer any and all of your questions, and I look forward to being here hopefully next year at this time talking about a restorative court that actually covers all of the county, not just the Pine County.